Away with questions, gang.
So, Wayne, you've got, I think it's 10 games in 23 days starting Wednesday or Thursday. I think there's one stretch where you even got 5 and 9. Do you have to make any adjustments to game approach? Is it more video and walkthroughs? How do you provide, you can get these games in, you just never know there.
Sure, yeah. Well, if we get them in, certainly we'll have to plan our practices, appropriately, knowing that, a lot of it may be mental, breakdowns as far as, showing scouting reports, walking them through stuff, being cognizant of the fact that, we don't want to run our guys into the ground. That's going to take a lot of maturity, from our guys. But also hopefully, with the depth we have, we feel that can be a strength of ours. I mean, you've noticed not full length games, but there's been halves where we get a lot of guys in. So hopefully the combination there, but we've got to still practice to keep improving, because obviously our goal is to keep ascending and then peak at the right time.
Is there one, I know that you want to get better at everything, but is there one specific thing you're hoping you can really make some strides in this next 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, I think that the next thing we need to do is just our offensive flow. We've gotten better defensively. I think that's shown. But there's times where the ball's sticking. We're not setting up our screens. The timing of our screens aren't there. So teams are getting physical, riding us out of our cuts, and we're not able to turn the ball. We're holding the ball. And, especially on this last road trip, we didn't score it. Now, we didn't shoot it great, but we also didn't execute in some spurts, and that causes frustration a little bit. So hopefully offensive execution will be the next thing to kind of, show some improvement in.
Have you given any thought to putting Roman back in the starting lineup just to get him going offensively?
Yes. Yeah. He's finally, I think, now back to where he was before Christmas physically. So today, in fact, we just finished practice a little bit. We had him running with the first group. Our perimeter players, I think now they get the point that we need to throw it in there. And now it's up to all of our bigs to catch the ball and be productive. And Roman's a guy, he's shooting a heck of a percentage, especially in league. And he's a good passer. Now he's back to where he's in a little bit, better physical condition. So we'll have to take advantage of that for sure.
Tariq's kind of been in and out of the lineup, and the minutes have been kind of sparse, especially in January. Is that just kind of the way things have shook out, or is he still dealing with any lingering injury issues?
No, he's healthy, but you gotta remember, even though we're in early February, he missed a lot of time early, and some other guys were ahead of him because of that. But certainly, down the stretch here, his role can greatly increase if he keeps chipping away the way he has in practices, and then make sure he doesn't take any steps backwards. And then when he gets, the playing time, you can always add to it by making sure, you're helping and improving and giving us a boost. And I think early on for Tariq, a lot of it was he was playing not to make mistakes. And, we need him locked in defensively so that he's a strength. And then he's got really good instincts offensively. And I think the combination of those two, can add to some more playing time for him.
You lost both games in LA, obviously. Did you feel like you guys kind of kept your level of play at where you were, previous to going down to LA, or did you think you took a step back, or how?
Well, we had some good moments in both games. The disappointing thing about USC was the lack of the physical battle from the jump, and that's what won us that game up here. Is physically, we were just more physical than them. We told our guys that's what it was going to take, and they kind of jumped us. But we made a run late. We had to go small. you know, and then that thing got away from us. But then we really bounced back, I thought, against UCLA with our level of intensity, physicality, our defensive pressure. Just offense was missing a little bit there. And you look at both games, we didn't score the ball like we're used to. So.
Wayne, you've held your last couple opponents under their season percentages as far as field goal shooting. How are you feeling just about the progress there?
You know, I started out saying that I think, you know, defensively, our guys understand. You know, we have to guard a certain way. We have to play a certain way defensively, a team defense, whether we're man or zone, physical. You know, early on, that was our big weakness, and we've made some, you know, that's probably been the highlight. Not just this past weekend, but the last couple of weeks, save you know, the Arizona game, obviously. So certainly have shown vast improvement in the defensive areas.
Wayne, I know the season still got a lot of weeks left before you get to the conference tournament, but do you think from top to bottom, this is as balanced a league as you've seen in a while? Just seems like every team going into that tournament has a shot, where you couldn't say that in years past. At least that's what my feeling is.
No, I think you're right. You know, now there's the last couple of years, it's been pretty deep. You know, last year they're talking about 7, maybe 8 teams had a chance to get in. You know, a few years before that. But as far as having no clear cut, man, they'll blow everybody away. I think there's a lot of balance, you know, and you know, you even look at the teams we face this week. You know, they've beaten some of the better teams and have really competed. So I think that's a very true and fair statement, that from top to bottom, this is competitive, as this conference has been since my time here.
How much do you think COVID has played a role in the look of the league, in what outcomes and what teams would be like? Has it played a big role in that regard?
I mean, the easy answer is yes, John. I mean, you see the impact of hard to get a rhythm. You know, you get it rolling, now you're on pause. You know, you look at 5 of our last 6 opponents, we were their only game of the week. That's I mean, that's unheard of. So, you know, for us to play 2 games and our opponents, that was their only game. You know, that's a lot to ask, because all their preparation goes into us. You know, that's their sole focus. They can throw everything at us, not knowing they have to bounce back, you know, 2 days later. So there's a lot of weird stuff that goes along with it. But everybody agrees we've got to try to get these games in. It's the best thing for the student athletes, obviously for our conference. So everybody kind of has to just, you know, grab hold and hold on, you know, and try to get through it as safe and healthy as we can. All the while, shoot, you know, going for that golden apple. You know, we all want to win. We all want to get that prize at the end of the day.
Wayne, with Jared, how are you feeling just overall about the progress he's made as far as what you're looking for from him?
I think he's having, you know, a fantastic year. Gives us a good scoring punch. He's worked tirelessly on the defensive end and made some strides there, and knows that he still has to. You know, he's a good secondary ball handler versus pressure in the full court and the half court. So he's made some very, very nice progress for sure. And, you know, now I talked a little bit about our offense the last couple of games. We need some other guys to step up, you know, and we shoot the ball better as a team. Guys need to be, you know, more confident, more productive. Then it'll take pressure off of guys like Ethan and Jared. And, you know, when we're having success, it's not like we're having guys score 30 out there. You know, we've got a few guys, you know, in double figures, at least 3 or 4, and a lot of other guys getting close to that. So that balance needs to come back.
And defensively, where has Jared improved to earn more playing time?
Well, last year, and he admitted it, it's just, if shots weren't going in for him, we had to take him out because he was a little bit of a liability, keeping the ball in front, getting to his spots in zone, challenging shots. Probably the biggest thing would be keeping the ball in front of him. And so he's worked really, really hard. And I know he and Trace worked out a lot when they were able to in the offseason. And he and Gianni, once our guys came back, some of the quicker guys, so that he could learn how to keep that ball in front, keep a high hand to challenge shots. And, got to give him credit for putting in that time and effort.
Wayne, a quick thought on your first opponent this week, Washington. You didn't see them the first go around. What can you tell us about this upcoming game?
Yeah, they're playing much better. Obviously, winners of 2 of their last 3. They jumped out at UCLA, a little while back and had a chance. I think they lost that one by 5 down there. They've got a very talented team. They're playing differently than they were early on. They're taking a little bit of our page out where they're starting possessions in zone, going man to man in the middle of the possession. Offensively, they spread it out. They have Quade Greens as good a guard as we have in our league. He can shoot it from 3. He can get into the paint. Eric Stevenson seems like he's really starting to find his groove shooting the ball. Bay's a great wing, physical, gets to the rim and has shot it very well from 3 of late. And then they've got good size, inside with Roberts and the big fella. And then even Amir Wright has now found his, niche a little bit, shooting the ball from 3. And they've got some guys coming off the bench that are confident scorers. So their production, their last handful of games, barring the Washington State game, they've scored in the 80s. So they're scoring it more, and they're just waiting kind of for that defense to click in. And hopefully that comes sometime after Thursday. But, they've been through a lot. And, the admirable thing is how Coach Hopkins has got those guys believing day in and day out, and they're still battling. And, they're going to knock some teams off. Because they've got talent, like I said, and he's a heck of a coach. We've just got to make sure that we do what we need to do, and like I said, let them, hopefully get in their group somewhere down the road. Anything else, gang?
I'm good.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Wayne.
Peace.